All right, we've been talking about December auto sales today, but we want to turn our attention to a never-ending competition between two all-American muscle cars. Last year, GM's Chevy Camaro outsold the Ford Mustang, ending the Mustang's 23-year reign. With us to talk about this shift and what it means for GM is Bloomberg's Keith Naughton, joining us from Detroit. So the battle of the ponies here, Keith. The Camaro has the Mustang's been on top for so long. How did the Camaro finally come and overtake it?
Well, you know, the Camaro was out of the dogfight there for about 6 or 7 years, and they came back last year with this very cool-looking, almost sinister-looking car.
They didn't even make one for years, is what you're saying.
They didn't. They stopped making them in 2002 because the car just wasn't selling well. It wasn't very good. Came back with this car. It had a quick starring role in Transformers as Bumblebee, as you might recall. And suddenly it caught fire and started outselling the Mustang, and then finally completely overtook them in 2010.
Keith, does it stay this way, or is this kind of a one-year thing? What do you think?
It's a great dogfight because, you know, along came the Camaro, which looked cool and new and modern, and it trumped the Mustang. And now the Mustang has put in new, bigger engines, and they're trying to, you know, sort of win the horsepower race. And next comes a Camaro convertible next month, and then there's a Boss Mustang coming. I mean, it's really cut and punch, counterpunch.
They are sweet-looking cars, I have to say. We have some old pictures of, checking out here, the classic 64.5 Mustang convertible there, yes, which is the sort of, it was the Soch car in The Outsiders, right? It was kind of the very preppy car to have. And then you got kind of the bad guy car, the motorhead car, the 66 Camaro.
Yes, I referred to that early Mustang earlier as penny loafers and bouffant, you know. And then, yes, the Camaro was more guys with, you know, sort of chains on their wallets. And so they kind of went at it back then, and GM was dominant. But then Ford took the lead in the 80s, and it didn't look like they'd ever relinquish it until this new Camaro came along.
Well, Keith, how much does image kind of play into who's interested in these cars? I mean, are they going after the same market here?
Well, a lot of those folks that they were getting, what is that, you know, 30, 40 years ago have probably moved on. They are, that's a gentle way of putting it. Anyway, they are attracting like a whole new generation of folks because they are really cool-looking cars, and they're fun to drive, and they go fast. They're everything that a Prius isn't, and that still appeals to an awful lot of people.
We have some of the ugliest Camaros and Mustangs. Go back to that. We had the 76 Camaro, 75 Camaro, and the 75 Mustang. These were not the glory years. And then, as you mentioned, in the 80s, they came out with the Mustang, the 5-liter engine, which was pretty sweet, but still not a gorgeous car. It's the retro styling, I think, Keith, that really sort of won the hearts and minds back. Mustang did it first, and then Camaro. What drove them to come back to their sort of roots in a modern way?
Yeah, the 70s were very dark days, Matt. I think they tried to commit car suicide there. But they really did, with both the Mustang and the Camaro, they went back to their roots. Cool-looking cars, really strong engines. They added new things like these cars actually handle well now when you turn them, and they get fairly decent fuel economy for as much horsepower as they're kicking out. So they're improved cars. They drive better, and they're just a lot of fun.
Keith, you got a favorite? Or are you afraid to say?
Gosh, yeah, it's hard to split the baby. But you know, the Camaro looks pretty cool on the road.
All right, good to know. Hey, Keith, thank you so much. Bloomberg's Keith Naughton.